Welcome to Tackett's House of Horsepower. It's me, Steve Tackett. So, how was your Christmas? What'd you get? What did I get? I got sick. I got sick for Christmas. 2 days in bed, and I still am not 100%. But I got plenty to do, so let's get to it. Take a look at this. Oh yeah, you know we're getting close. We got a radiator and fans, shroud, electric fans, two 12-inch fans, wiring kit. You know, it's getting serious now. We are gonna maybe hear this thing run here shortly, possibly. I don't know. I'm missing some wiring still, so we'd have to do something about that, but we can hot wire it maybe. I don't know, we'll see when we get there. But first, we got some work to do. So obviously I went with the cold case, big 2-row, 2-core, 1.25 rows radiator. And anyways, let me open it up, we'll take a look at it. First off, let's look at the wiring kit. This is part number EF-1. And this is meant to power 2 fans continuously. So it'll turn both on and off at the same time. It's only gonna be 1 signal, 2 fans. But it's gonna be temperature setting unit controlled, big hefty relay, big hefty wires. I want to be able to run this thing. Remember, this car, the whole plan for this car is to be one of those, you know, type of drive and drag type event cars. So I need this thing to run cool, and I need it to run long distances. So it's important to run, you know, heavy duty gauge wires and heavy duty relay. I wanted to make sure I get the right stuff because I can't have any problems on this thing. I don't want to be on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere with fan problems and overheating problems. So I'm gonna try to avoid that by buying the right stuff, you know what I mean? So this is what was recommended for these fans, to run continuously, long distances. So we're going with this. So that's the wiring kit and your part number. All right, I want to talk about this for a second. This is the radiator I chose to go with because I actually am trying to be kind of budget friendly, and I was almost about to order a Griffin radiator, you know, real fancy one. It was basically the same dimensions, but I'm sure a much better quality radiator. And I had to talk it through with Sarah. She was like, just order the good one. And I'm like, yeah, but it's a lot more money. Because a Griffin radiator is, you know, $1,300 for the same basic setup. This one was like 600 something. So yeah, it's half the price. And I wasn't sure if it was going to be a big enough difference to justify the cost. But the thing is, I want to make sure, like I said, this thing has to stay cool. It has to drive long distances. But one thing to talk about with Chevelle guys, if you're a Chevelle guy, we need to talk about this. Okay, if you look, this one's got tranny cooler lines, and it's called the outlet. The outlet is on the bottom passenger side, of course. Now this one has the inlet on the upper. Remember, this is backwards. So this is gonna be on the passenger side or driver side, passenger side, driver side. Now If you look up a radiator for a 64, 65, they put the inlet over here. They put the inlet on the same side as the outlet. And it's not a dual pass-through radiator, so I kind of don't like it. A lot of the water is going to come in the inlet, straight down, and then out. It's not going to be in the radiator very long, so you're going to have a really hot spot and a very cold side. Like the radiator doesn't distribute it equally, in my opinion. So what I like to do is, and I did this on the green Chevelle too. If you look at the green Chevelle, I did this on the green Chevelle too. Order a radiator, or look this up. Look up a 66, 67 Chevelle. And if you do, here's your part number. CHE542AK. Now, if you go with a 66, 67, they're the same size. Everything's the same. Except they move the inlet over here. So I kind of think, in my puny brain, I think it's best to have the inlet and the outlet as far away from each other as possible. And hopefully that will distribute it through the radiator more equally, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of just my opinion. I don't know. It also, so that efficiency is one possible scenario to think about. The other scenario to think about is your configuration. If you got a big block, small block, doesn't matter. If you got the alternator over here, or you got air compressor, AC compressor over there, you know what I mean? Maybe you want the radiator hose on this side. If you want the upper radiator hose on this side, maybe you got more room over here, then go with a 66, 67. If you want the radiator hose over here, go with a 64, 65. So, I don't know, it's just something to look at. Just, if you look up go to Summit's website or whoever, it doesn't matter. Look up a 64, 65 and look up a 66, 67. It'll be the, whatever brand you prefer, Griffin or Cold Case, whatever it is, whatever brand you prefer. Look up a 64 and 5 and look up a 66, 67 and then compare them. And you'll see which side you want the upper hose to be on. Just something to think about. For me personally, I like to go with this setup. Hopefully that helps with some cooling, maybe distributes it better, I hope. Anyway, I don't know, something to think about. So if it doesn't matter which, they're interchangeable. So everything is the same except for that upper hose. So I don't know, something to think about depending upon how your brackets and pulleys go, depending upon if you're having cooling issues and you've got an original 64, 65, maybe think about switching this hose over to there, get it away from each other, spread out that temperature a little bit better. I don't know. You guys ever tried anything like that? You ever hearing about anything like that? I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts? Am I crazy? I don't know. You tell me. All right, we got some assembly required. Sorry, my throat is not doing good. Anyways, some assembly required. Let's take a look at this thing. This thing is pretty massive. Look at this. Look at the size of this thing. And it's got the big, hold on. Let me get a flashlight. It's a two core. Can you see down there? That's one core, see it? And then there's another one. So it's a two core. And they're supposedly 1.25 inches, I think. They look bigger than that. I don't know. But it's pretty beefy. I'll give them that. And it's all welded, solid. Looks pretty good. I'm kind of I'm trying to talk myself into being okay with this, because I mean, I had permission to order a Griffin radiator and I chose to go with this. So I really don't want to have to hear it from Sarah. The first time this thing overheats, she's gonna be like, I told you you should have got the Griffin radiator. You chose to get this one. I'm gonna have to hear it. So I'm really hoping this thing works. Santa Claus just left. Check it out. That's gonna be the rear bumper and stuff. You know what I did? I canceled everything from OPG. I canceled a bunch more stuff from OPG and I went with these guys. And look at that. Parts start showing up. Amazing. So I gotta quit talking and get to work, okay? I got plenty to do now. Okay, here it is, assembled and ready to install. Basically, the shroud is just, I think, a universal shroud they give you. So you gotta kind of drill and do your own holes, pop rivet it together. The holes are cut out for the fans. They bolt on no problem. The fans are 1400 CFM each, and there's two 12-inch. So we'll see if that's going to be enough, hopefully. It looks like it covers the radiator pretty well. A little gap on the top there, that's about it. I think the bottom is pretty flush. So it should pull air pretty much equally across the whole radiator. So that's what you want. The shroud's not very thick. It could have gone a little thicker, watch out. It's got edges on it. It'll get you. But, so watch out for that. But, I don't know, you probably could have went a little thicker. Maybe not if you have a big block though. I don't know, we'll see. We'll get this in and I'll show you the measurements to the water pump and stuff. But again, this is just a small block. A small block with a long water pump. But I think it's gonna have plenty of room. But if you got a big block, that's gonna be a different story. But let's see. Okay, check it out. There you go. I tried to, it gives you like 3 different options for mounting. I didn't know which one to use, so I tried the middle one first, and the radiator cap touched the hood. So I went to the top hole there, and the middle one down there, and it matched up perfectly to the factory holes. So no modification required. Bolted right up, and it clears the hood. And let me get my tape measure. And as you can see, there's a ton of clearance as far as here. Let me get my tape measure out. It's like over 2 inches, 2 1/4 from the water pump to the fan. And then over here, like power steering pump, shoot, it's got plenty. Almost 2 1/2 from the power steering pump to the motor. So yeah, I mean, small block, long water pump with accessories, not a problem. It bolted to the radiator core support in the stock locations, no problem. So far, so good. I like it. Radiator hoses are gonna be pretty simple. Just needs to come out of here and bam, straight there. The lower one is just a standard, should be a lower radiator hose off of any small block would work. Going to O'Reilly's, get you something, cut it down if you need to. Should be no problem. The only thing I don't like is my metal lines that I got from OPG, which are really long. I don't know why they're so long. I ordered them for a Turbo 400, so I'm gonna have to do some finagling with the lines to get them to line up. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I might cut them and go with -6 AN lines and fittings out here. Possibly add an external cooler if needed. I'm a big believer in you don't need it unless you absolutely need it. Anyways, the radiator itself, I say it's a win. I like it. Let me see if I can figure out hoses. Oki is the certified parts chaser. Let's see if we can go find some radiator hoses. Well, I went to O'Reilly's and told the guy that I have a 67 Chevelle, and this is what we came up with. I guess that'll work. So we got upper and lower radiator hoses. The only thing left is wiring, the wiring for the fans. I gotta put a temp sensor in, probably just put it right there, I guess. And wiring a relay, I gotta mount that guy over here somewhere. And that will control the fans. And the other thing I'm missing is I need to get me a small overflow bottle, mount that over there on the side there and hook that up. You need one of those to be legal to race. So it's a requirement. So put that guy over there, hook him up there, a little bit of electrical, and we have a cooling system. All right, I'm just looking at this wiring, and this kit's pretty cool. It gives you plenty of wire, a pretty hefty relay. This thing is 40 amps. A fusible wire. It gives you 2 pigtails to plug into the fans, and it gives you some fuses and a thermal switch. So basically the way it works is the white wire is going to be 12 volts keyed hot. The blue wire is going to go to my thermal switch. So at, according to this, 190 degrees, this thermal switch is going to close. And when it closes, it's going to complete the ground, which is going to close the relay, turn the fans on. As long as the key is on, you'll have 12 volts on the white wire. As long as you got 12 volts on the white wire, so keyed on, blue wire is grounded at 190 degrees, it's going to send voltage over to your fans, and then your fans got to get grounded. So pretty simple, pretty easy to wire, I think. I think I can handle that. So I'm easily distracted by shiny parts. So I'm gonna jump back here and play with this for a minute. Well, check that out. It's definitely shiny. Way too shiny for this car. It does not look like it belongs on this car. But I didn't have a bumper, so I had to buy a new one. So anyway, we got a rear bumper and brackets and a license plate frame, and it folds. Look at that. Ta-da. So what do you think, Oliver? You don't care. So it does not look like it belongs on this car, but there you go. I got a few more little parts that showed up in that box. Glove box light, door buttons go right there, and lock cylinder kits for all the locks: trunk, glove box, doors, ignition, everything. Matching set. So that's cool. So I got a few more things I can do. As I was just filming that, I looked down in the bag and I see these keys and I'm like, oh no, damn it, they gave me the wrong keys. I want the old style keys. But it comes with both sets. That's kind of weird. So basically I have two sets of keys. They give you the older style and the newer style. So that's interesting. Anyways, that's cool. It's a good thing I didn't throw away my old lock cylinders, because the new lock cylinders don't come with this little guy. You gotta transfer that over, and it comes with new clips that hold it on. These are the old ones. So good thing I didn't throw those out, because that would have sucked. Now, check it out. Oh yeah. Security system activated. Well, how about this? Take a look. New lock, new box, new light switch, light bulb guy. Got my door switches in. Oh yeah, she's coming together now. All right, that's enough playing around. I got rid of those boxes, put some few parts here and there on it, got a few things checked off the list. It's starting to come together. Looks like the radiator and hoses and all that's gonna work. I gotta order me a overflow bottle, like I said, and put fluids in it. And I guess we could start trying to see if this thing will bark off. Now, here's where I'm at. I'm just gonna let you guys know. Look back there. Okay. So that's your bulkhead right there. See it? You got two harnesses that come out of there. The one on the left, it goes over to the engine, and that's your harness. The one on the right, that harness goes up and over the fender, and it comes around and it hooks up to all your lights. It does your lights, turn signals, all that. It also hooks up to your horn relay, and then your horn relay goes over to where the original battery was. Okay, if your original battery was there, you had a small wire, you had a big wire going down to the starter, and you got a small wire coming off, and it goes over to the horn relay, and then it comes off the horn relay, and it goes into that harness, and that harness goes up to that plug on the right. Okay, now I'm missing that harness, so that's what's stopping me right now from hitting the key and turning it on, because you need power. I believe it's the second pin down on the plug on the right, second pin down. That is your main power feed wire that goes to the ignition box, ignition switch, everything. So I'm thinking I might just put a jumper wire there, run power over to that wire, and see if that powers up my fuse box, ignition switch, ignition system, starter. All that should work. If that works, then I could light this thing off. And you know, not only do I want to hear it run, I know some of you want to hear it run probably. My neighbors, they probably want to hear it run, you know, whether they want to or not, they're gonna hear it. No, but I haven't seen any of this work yet. Like, if you've been following this build series, you know that's a brand new Dakota Digital Dash. I haven't even tried it yet, but all my ignition system down there, all that stuff came out of the closet over there. So it's all used. I don't know if that stuff works. I don't know if I have spark. I don't know if my gauges work yet. I haven't powered anything up. So, you know, I don't know, I'm getting antsy. I want to hear it run. I want to see my gauges light up. You know what I mean? I want to see some action. So that's the main holdup right now. I would really, really like it if I could get that harness. But if not, I don't know. I'm going to see if it's possible to throw a jumper wire in there and see if I can get this thing to light up. That should power up everything. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, y'all, I think I'm going to have to call it there. I did my best. I do not feel 100%. My throat and sinuses are just, it's done for. But the radiator's in, looks good. Hoses are done, looks good. Got a few other little odds and ends taken care of. Checking things off the list, that's what you got to do. Every chance you get, just knock something off the list until you get it done. That's all I'm trying to do. And it's getting close. And I think I'm gonna look into that on my next day off. I'm gonna see what I can do with that jumper power into the fuse panel and see what I can do. Cause I'd really like to see this thing crank. I'd really like to see if it's got spark, gauges, all that. I really want to see if that's functioning. So maybe we'll do that on the next video. But for now, I'm gonna chuck some emergency. Now I'm gonna eat some soup and probably finish off a bottle of NyQuil and crash out because I am just done. But I really appreciate y'all watching, and please hit like, hit subscribe, hit comment, any of that. It really helps me out, it really helps the algorithm, and I like hearing from you. So please do that for me, and I'll see you next time.